In this case study, I am squatting next to a very small 14-inch paddle wheel fan that's about to ship out to one of our customers. Now this fan is one of many. There's about 100 on this particular oven, and it's plugging into the side wall of an oven to recirculate air within that oven. So within the oven, we're recirculating 1400 degree Fahrenheit gas, and we're doing that with this wheel over here. Now this wheel has to be made of high specialty materials to be able to handle that kind of temperature. So this one is Inconel 625 material. And so it's a 14-inch paddle wheel. And then next to it, we've got a plug. So this plug is packed with insulation. And so you won't see any of this when you walk up to this fan in the field. All you'll see is outside, and this point out, because this goes right on the outside wall of the oven. So this plug is in the side wall of the oven, and this wheel is actually inside the oven recirculating the air. So there's 1400 degrees on this side, and out here it's ambient. So this 4-inch insulation is protecting the ambient pieces from the heat on the inside. We've got a shaft seal down here that's just a ceramic felt shaft seal with multiple layers of ceramic felt. And then we've got a cooling wheel that's in here, and that cooling wheel is facing towards the bearings. So that's going to be drawing cool ambient air across the bearings and then wicking that air off out the guards. This is going to have a guard across it once we put a guard on. Inside here we have an inboard bearing and an outboard bearing. They're just grease lubricated. And then this shaft, we use an alloy for the shaft that keeps the capacitance of the heat down from inside the oven to outside. And so we're using a 309 stainless steel shaft on this to minimize the transfer of heat along the shaft to keep our bearings cool on the outside. Now this one's connected. It's an arrangement 8 plug fan. That's a bit of a unique design. A lot of times plug fans are belt driven, but this one's a direct driven with a coupling between the motor and the shaft. And then we've just got a small, I believe this is a 1 or a 1.5 horsepower motor driving this fan on the outside. When you're conveying really high temperature gas, the density is very low, and so it often doesn't take as much motor horsepower to convey the same amount of volumetric flow that you would see in a typical ambient condition. 1400 degrees is about 4 times less dense than standard ambient air. The external materials on this are also stainless steel, so we've got a stainless alloy on the wheel, a stainless alloy on the plug, stainless alloy outside, and a stainless alloy on the shaft. So we won't be putting any paint on this fan before we ship it out to our customer. And as you can see, this one's on a pallet, so within a day or two it's going to ship out and get installed into this oven, and it'll be moving really hot gas.